New York versus New Jersey. A classic rivalry. Just like in boxing, the veteran fighter versus the young rising star. Sometimes the young lion wins.
That's Johnny Lisbon, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
And sometimes the crafty veteran still has a few tricks up his sleeve.
On a right hand, an unbelievably close-in right hand shot. It happened. It happened.
Both fighters grew up not that far apart, one born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, the other in Rockville Center, New York. That's less than 30 miles apart as the crow flies. Although growing up close in location, both their paths in boxing couldn't be farther apart. Stevenson started boxing at age 5, Herring at age 15. Stevenson, by age 22, had won his first major title. Herring, by 22, had just wrapped up 2 tours overseas in the Marine Corps. Although their paths were different, they now converge. One thing is for sure, this weekend, these two fighters will collide in what I'm sure will be a career-defining fight for both men. So who will it be? The young, confident rising star, or the seasoned, battle-hardened Marine? We'll give you a full breakdown and our thoughts and predictions today on Glove Talk. You know what they say about a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And you can see that Herring is a Marine through and through. From his incredible work ethic to his ability to overcome adversity, there is no quit in JAMEL Herring. This couldn't be more evident than after suffering 2 career losses. Instead of going back to the same old, JAMEL changed trainers. He decided to go with Brian McIntyre, also known as Bomac, the same trainer as one Bud Crawford. Under Bomac, we have seen a new life in JAMEL's boxing, dropping down in weight to super featherweight to win the WBO title. This decision clearly was a smart one, as JAMEL Herring, being 5'10 and having a 72-inch reach, clearly has a size advantage, which he has put to good use. After his last outing, where he battered the war-torn vet Carl Frampton to get a 6-round TKO, JAMEL Herring is on the warpath to prove he still has a few big fights in him left. But JAMEL Herring will have to face the young and upcoming star SHAKUR Stevenson. SHAKUR Stevenson's fans like to compare him to the great Floyd Mayweather, while his detractors often point out his last performance and his style that is more defensive can be a bit bland. One thing is for sure about Stevenson, win or lose, he isn't going anywhere in my opinion. An Olympic silver medalist, Stevenson has quite the background. I think he has the talent to be a boxer that we talk about for a while. With quick reflexes, sharp counters, and a classic style of hit and don't be hit, I think Stevenson's gonna pass the eye test for a lot of people possibly in this fight. Racking up a 16-0 flawless record, it's safe to say that Stevenson is going into this fight fairly confident. That said, in his last outing, he didn't look quite himself. Where normally he would throw punches and bunches, he was throwing just single shots. Where he normally is having no problem engaging, he seemed cautious, if not hesitant, to engage at all. Ultimately, everyone wants to know one thing and one thing only. Is Stevenson ready to step up to that top tier fighter and try to go after this next belt at a new weight class? Final prediction time now. I think this fight really comes down to 2 things. For Herring, it's all about dealing with a slick defensive fighter. I think his game plan for this fight should be to make this an uncomfortable fight for Stevenson. Smart pressure and a serious amount of rough tactics. I think this will get the young fighter nervous to engage, and then if you couple that with a sharp jab, considering he has a 4-inch reach advantage, this could throw Stevenson off. If we can see Stevenson's confidence and punch output drop, I think the Marine can win by unanimous decision. For SHAKUR, it's all about engaging and willing to let his hands go. Because when he does throw combinations and uses fantastic reflexes to counterpunch, he's an absolute nightmare to time as a fighter. If he can do that, I think he can win this fight by unanimous decision. So who wins? Well, admittedly, I'm a bit biased. I've had many friends and family in the armed forces, so of course I'm going to be leaning towards Jamel Herring. I think he wins by unanimous decision. But I do think there's a valid point to be pointed out here, and that is I have not seen SHAKUR Stevenson struggle or have much opposition in front of him that has truly challenged him thus far. I feel like Stevenson has the talent, and I feel like we will see what kind of levels he can go to in this fight. I think if he does lose though, I think one thing that should be noted and that I mentioned earlier in this video, I don't think that this is the end of SHAKUR Stevenson's career. I honestly think this will be a huge part of him moving forward and becoming a better fighter. I think he'll use this moment in this loss to jumpstart a new chapter in his career. A more positive, stronger, and even better version of Stevenson I think will show up in the future. So that's my thoughts and predictions for this fight. Let me know yours down in the comments section below. We will be live streaming during this fight on Saturday, so if you want to stop on by, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thanks for stopping by.